Welcome back to the vlog. Today we're talking about how I'm preparing mentally to run 58 marathons in 58 days across all 50 states of America and all 8 states and territories of Australia. I'm going to give you 3 strategies that I personally use to train my mind, because much like training your muscles and your body, you can train your mind. And I think the benefit of building a resilient mind will allow you to persevere through the tough times, which we know are coming. They're part of life. In order for you to go from who you want to be to the version of yourself that you want to be requires growth, which requires probably some failure, probably some pain, and definitely a lot of resilience. So I'm about to go do my training session. Let's quickly have a look, and then we'll come back and we'll talk 3 strategies around how I build my mindset. Let's go. So today's session is going to be challenging. One, the humidity is about 92% here in Brisbane, which isn't going to be fun. So the show will be coming up very soon. And secondly, I've got about 17 kilometers of threshold work. So 20-minute warm-up. We've got 5 1-mile efforts with 60 seconds rest in between, which I've got to hold around 4 minutes per kilometer or 6-minute mile pace. That's going to be steaming. I'm very much looking forward to it, because in these sessions, a lot of it is mindset, especially when you've been training. It's how you respond to the heat, the conditions, and how your body is feeling. So body check, mind feels good, body feels good. Knees are a little bit tight, ankles are a little bit tight, but I know as I begin to warm up on this 20 minutes before we start, I'll be feeling good as gold. And then after we've got the mile repeats, I've got some shorter speed work, which is about 3:30 pace, just 5 efforts. I think of 100 meters, so more so just to tick the legs over, so I'm not carrying too much lactic acid tomorrow. Big barrier to progress for a lot of people is their ability to persevere through adversity and through challenges. This morning, it's obviously hot out. It's a big reason why people wouldn't run, they delay it. And also the rain, my shoes are already saturated, so it's easy to not want to do it and give up. I guess a great way to work out whether you need to or it's important to you to improve your resilience is the goals that you're setting. Are you giving up when it gets challenging, when the adversity arises? Many people do it with fitness goals, they do it with financial goals, they do it with their relationships, they call it quits. So think about where you're at with that, and then these tips will come in extremely helpful. All right, we've got 20 seconds until we start this first one. I'm checking every now and then, see how I'm feeling, but right now, body feels warm, body feels good. Let's get it. All right, that's a good reason why running is good for doing hard things, and having a coach is good. I had a coach who set the standard, which was 4 minutes, and the key from that is holding the standard. So there was times where I was sitting at 4:02 when I should have been at 4. The easy thing is, like, you quit, not so much quit, but you just do that and have the approach close enough is good enough. Or you fucking work harder, get down to the 4 minute and raise your own personal standards. Be better, raise to the level of the coach that you have or the people that you surround yourself with. So 10 seconds till the next one. Wow. Boy. This is hot, very hot. Definitely can see my mind getting to a point where it wants to slow down. It wants to play it safe and it wants to take it easy, but that's what the easy runs are for. Today's session is a threshold session, which means I gotta show up, I gotta turn it up, I gotta get the maximum out of it. Let's go. Holy shit. 200-meter repeats now. Can confirm that was an extremely freaking hard session. 20-minute warm-up. Then we had 5 1-mile repeats at 4-minute pace average with a minute rest in between. Then I had 5 200-meter efforts with a minute rest in between. And now I've got 20-minute cool down. One of the biggest barriers to success that I've gotten clear on is that people don't like persevering through the adversity, through the tough stuff. This morning I had a ridiculous session. The humidity was 85+%. And it's also saturated, so my shoes are wet. Plenty of reasons why I could have bailed. But when you understand that doing the things that most people won't get you the results that others don't have, it's a reason why you push through anyway. Happy Tuesday. All right, made it back. And when it's this hot, you want to get in some pool time. So quick little recap, and we'll recap that in on the computer with the splits. But essentially, as I was saying during the run, the best thing is when you work with a coach, or if you set your own standards for whether it's a workout, a financial thing, call, whatever it is in your life, the hard thing you know you need to do to get the results. When you set that standard, it's your job to hold the standard, no one else's job. So when I was running, and you can see my coach has a program that goes directly to my watch, and my standard time needed to be 4-minute Ks. And there was times where I'd see it jumping over 4:01, 4:02, and I could have just been like, oh, close enough is good enough. Or if you really want to get the results, you work harder. And that's what I push myself to do. So I'm proud of that effort. And that in itself is training your mindset. It's pushing yourself to demand more of yourself than you originally thought. And then it becomes your new standard. I know next time I do that session, that 4-minute Ks have already been ticked. So I believe I can do it. There's evidence that I can do it. I'm going to spend a little bit more time in here. Then I've got a quick meeting, and then we're going to go through the 3 strategies that helped me train my mind. And I guess I just gave you a bonus 4th there, where it's just holding the standard. Actually, quick one. If you do have any questions or anything you want to know about the run, make sure you drop it in the comments. That's the best way I can read it. I can then do videos on it, or head over to Instagram and do some lives and stuff. All right, ciao. Let's talk about the first strategy that I use. Overall, I look at doing hard things because I believe that doing hard things helps prepare you and condition you to persevere when life gets tough. Because on the other side of what's considered tough or the challenge is the growth opportunity, and is what we want. Number 1 is making sure that I visualize the outcomes that I want. Now, visualization can be thought of as woo-woo, but for me, all I'm doing is piecing together what the journey could be like in order to achieve what I want to achieve. So with the 58 marathons, and with raising the sponsorship and $100,000 for charity, I'm thinking about that almost all the time. I'm thinking about what it's going to be like running in Brisbane on that last one, what it's going to be like when we hit that $100,000 goal, what it's going to be like when we land in Alaska. And I'm thinking about that, I'm visualizing it, because it allows me to be there. You know, in my mind, I feel like I've already done it. I know that sounds a bit weird, and there's a lot of work that has to happen in order to complete that. Because I'm conditioning my mind, I'm putting it out there, I'm allowing myself to piece things together, so it's becoming more real. It's almost solidifying a belief and creating evidence around having it done. That's number 1. Make sure you visualize, or it works for me, but visualizing the outcomes that I want. If you can see it in your mind, you can create it in your reality. And right now, I'm just getting ready for a bed, quick 45-minute nap, and then we'll come back for strategy number 2. All right, so the second strategy was running without music. Now, this one I learned off Ned Brockman. I thought it was a great one, where you earn the right to get music, to get a treat, to calm your mind. Now, for me, I find running without music calming. I actually find it more overwhelming having music in my ears. It's more stimulation when I've already got a million things going on in the head. However, sometimes when you get into the last sort of 10K or the last hour of a long run, having some music in there with a good beat can really just distract you a bit, which is going to be awesome with that. So I'm pretty pumped about that. And it's something that I definitely would encourage you to explore, because if you can make getting comfortable with your own thoughts in your own mind routine and something that you can learn to become comfortable with, it's only going to benefit you in other areas of your life. Because a lot of people are anxious or socially awkward because they don't, one, have a great relationship with themselves, and they don't like being by themselves. So when you are able to get comfortable with that, and long runs is a great way to do that, you're building a better relationship with yourself, but you're also setting yourself up for a potential reward, which might be music, which might be podcasts, which might be having someone else join you on the run to make that a little bit easier. So that is strategy number 2 that I'm using to mentally prepare. It's going to, have me in a much better headspace when I'm able to plug those headphones in on the long run. I might do day on, day off, or the first 30Ks without headphones, the last 10K with headphones. I'll play around with it and see what I like, but I also know that my head can get overwhelmed, so we'll see what happens. Okay, and the third and final mental strategy, and Simon Sinek spoke a lot about this, but find your why. The why for why I am doing this, the why for why around why I'm doing this is deeply personal. I have a reason that motivates me intrinsically. I have a reason that motivates me that's bigger than myself. It's for the community and to inspire, motivate, and hopefully get people actioning change within their own life. I don't believe that you can sit there and continue to consume information and not do anything about it. So you must do something. And that's what I hope like this. So for me personally, the opportunity to explore and push myself to see what I'm capable of, to see what my potential is something that I'm very excited to explore. The second thing, that by documenting this journey like this YouTube video is doing now, sharing the highs, sharing the lows, and I guess just everything in between that we capture that I'm probably not even aware that's going to happen,
people will be able to relate to some of it, will be able to be inspired by other bits, and it'll answer a lot of questions for people. And I know the, I guess, catchphrase that we have, all seasons, all terrains, is going to be a great representation of what life is like. All seasons, all terrains. You've got to be prepared for everything, and it's how you respond to what's in front of you that matters more than anything. That's personal responsibility. So it's something that I'm prepping myself on now. I'm very clear on why I'm doing it and what I'm doing it for. And because of that, it's made it easier to be consistent with my training, to reach out to people when I need to ask for sponsorships and support and get media involved and do all of these things. So having a solid why is the third strategy that has helped me have mental resilience. All right, thank you guys for tuning in again this week. Obviously, we're 37 days out from the run kicking off, which is very exciting. So I'm going to be heading to Mexico in a week's time. And then we'll be heading from Mexico to Nashville, from Nashville to Seattle, Seattle to Alaska, where we will kick off. Make sure you subscribe below to follow along for the journey.